Oh, I want to say this to the ladies before we get rolling, and then we get to the biblical question. Um, I've been talking to a lot of ladies recently, and it's disappointing what's happening to the women nowadays. Um, I talked to several women who've been married 2 or 3 times, and they were seriously looking for a man that they could rely on, meaning that they were looking to a man that they can trust in and discuss things with, and that would give them answers to life or to situations, because it's in a woman's nature, it's given to her by God in her nature to naturally want a man and want a family. But she naturally want a man that can lead her, that she can talk to and give her answers and things like that. And this one lady was telling me that she had gotten married 3 times, I think, maybe 2, but definitely, maybe 2, I think, maybe 3. But all 3 times she thought she was marrying a man that can lead her and that would be able to answer questions and she could rely on for those type of things. And so she married, all 3 times she married mama boys. All 3 guys were mama boys. And what she noticed about the mama boys is that they were weak in that all they wanted sex. But she didn't know that because she didn't know at the time that women were not created to be emotionally connected to sex. Men are emotionally connected to sex, but women are not. They don't feel that at all. But and so she ended up marrying mama's boys, and the last guy she married, he had money. So she figured that this was a smart guy. He had made money, he earned a living, and he'll be able to guide her, lead her. And it ended up being the same thing. He was just a mama's boy. All he was interested in was sex. He had nothing in him that can lead her. And she wanted that. And all women want men to lead them. They don't mean like, it means like answer questions and things that they worry about to show them how to overcome. But this woman says, I believe married 3 times. The last guy had a bunch of money. And he was still a mama's boy. And all he wanted sex. And so first I want to tell the ladies that anytime you meet a guy and he wants sex, walk away. It's a mama's boy. Because that's all he think about is sex. When he see you, he doesn't see anything but sex. But he'll lie and say, oh, you're beautiful, you're smart. He'll tell you all the lies you need to hear to draw you in, but do not fall for it. And women, you're supposed to, just as men, you're supposed to overcome being a lady to a woman. And a real woman never, ever, ever seek after a man. Do not look for a man. Don't go to the club looking for one. Don't go to the bar looking for one. When you're up and down, having fun out there in the world, don't look for a guy. I promise you, you're going to always end up finding guys who are just like you. And you don't want that. And especially nowadays, it is bad. All men want is to figure out how to have sex. There's nothing wrong with getting married to have sex. But you got, sex is not supposed to be all this stuff that they're making y'all do, ladies. Sex is supposed to be private, simple, get into bed, have sex, go to sleep. It's not supposed to be all this stuff that the guys are making y'all do. They're making you do that because they're mama's boys and they have the mama spirit and they're very emotional and they can care less about you. So what I want to do is encourage the women, because I don't know if we said enough to the ladies. You got to seek first the kingdom of God, His right way, and He will guide you. If you don't, If you seek the right way, whether you find a man or not, you'll be just fine. But I promise you, God will put the right man into your life, and that man will be able to lead you in the right way. You won't have to wait on him to finally make the decision, to finally make this decision, that decision. He will do nothing. But if you look for it, you're going to always find the wrong man. It ain't going to work. Because you have a mama's boy. And mama's boys are lost, emotional, and they go to the gym, they work out, they do everything to get a woman to have sex. That's all they care about. And you're disappointed when you run into that. And the last thing, because there's so much I have to say about this now, last thing I want to say to the ladies, from this day forward, ladies, never, ever, ever talk about, do what you want. Never talk about whether you're a virgin or not to anyone. That's between you and God. Because, and I remember when I was hearing these stories, I was saying, wow, in the good old days, women didn't talk about whether they were virgin or not. They didn't brag about it, they didn't tell anyone. They didn't even sit around the table with other women and talk about it because between them and God, that person and God. But then now what's they those nasty women? The feminist women. The feminist movement started, right? And they started telling women, oh, you can just like a man. You don't be ashamed of your sex. Don't be ashamed of this or that. You could do what men do. You could be a slut, just like a man could be a slut maker. And then they start writing about it and putting it in movies. And they made women forget that their sex life is a private life. Whether they're a virgin or not is no one's business. Your husband will find out the night of the honeymoon. He'll find out then. He doesn't need to know ahead of time or anything. Keep that between you and God, because if the man find out, all he gonna think about is, I gotta get this one because she's a virgin. And he'll be done with you. He'll make babies with you and walk away. He doesn't care about you at all. And then the other women will be jealous if you're a virgin. They'll make a mockery of you. They'll talk you out of it so you can become lost like them. In the good old days, women didn't talk about all this stuff. Women did not talk about it at all. And I used to date a lot back down in Alabama and out here in the good old days. Women didn't tell you about that stuff. You don't even ask them about that stuff. And even when you try to get with them, you still didn't ask them that kind of stuff. So ladies, seek the kingdom of God. Keep your sex life to yourself. If a guy asks you that, tell him none of his business. And then if a woman wants to get around the table and you read these stupid magazines about it, still don't tell him. Because this woman is jealous, she feels like a slut, she's lost and lonely, she's been used up, and she wants you to be the same way. All right? So it's private, ladies. Don't be telling anyone. That makes sense? Yeah, don't tell anyone. Don't talk with other ladies or anyone. And then when you overcome being a female, you become a woman. And it will be amazing to live that way. Because God created you for that purpose. God didn't just create you to be some slut. He didn't create you to be lonely. He didn't create you to be lost. He created you so that if you do want children, sex is a way to make children. That's it. It's never meant for pleasure, even though there is pleasure in sex, but it's not supposed to be exploited like that. All right? So, ladies, start working on yourself. And these men give you all the wrong advice. They're setting you up for themselves to use you. So you got to start thinking for yourself. Do the silent prayer. Forgive your mothers and your father. And you got to do exactly what the men have to do in order to overcome being a male to manhood. Seek the kingdom of God and all be well. That makes sense, ladies? Well, any questions about that?
No.
Does that make sense? Can you bring it to Mike? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Had you thought about that before now?
Yes.
And so had you stopped telling people if you're a virgin or not?
Yeah, I don't talk to people about that.
Yeah. And have you ever done that? Talk to people about that?
Yeah, girlfriends.
And what made you do it with them?
Because it's like the culture. It's so normal to, the culture calls it normal to just discuss that and be open about it. And like you said, bragging about it.
Yeah. But it's not normal.
No.
You sit around with a bunch of lonely women trying to find a man, and they're never going to find a man to lead them because you're not supposed to be looking for a male. It's naturally for a woman to want to get married, want a family, and there's a right kind of naturalness there. So if you get it, it'll work out, but if you doesn't, that's fine too. Isn't that amazing? Are you married?
No.
You been
I'm
married?
trying to wrap my head around the fact that it's fine if it doesn't happen.
You trying to wrap your head around it?
Yeah, because it's just not happening. So I'm like, okay, I have to just accept that this is okay.
And have you been looking for it?
No.
And so, do you doubt it will happen? Will you say you're trying
Yes,
to
I
wrap-
doubt it.
And why?
Because I don't go out and meet people at all.
Beautiful.
And so it's just not going to happen.
But do you think you have to go out and meet someone for it to happen?
No, I think a man should seek out the woman
Right.
and have the courage to like say, hey, let's go to dinner. Because I feel like men are just scared to like ask you on a date in person.
Yeah. And why is that? You're right about that.
Why are men scared? That makes me think about your biblical question, why are you afraid of negotiating? So they're afraid of the rejection. Like, oh, if she says no, then that's worse than not asking.
I did not know how bad it was with men be afraid to ask a woman out for a date until I started this organization, Bond. I didn't, because when I was growing up and my uncles and friends and everybody, I never heard anyone say, I'm scared to ask a woman for a date. That doesn't even, what are they afraid? Mama. They're afraid of mama's spirit. That's what it is. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So you don't go out at all?
No.
You just stay home and cook?
Yes.
And why did you get to that point?
I lived in LA 7 years. I'm in Louisiana now, where I'm from. And
You live in that white part of town that broke off from the blacks?
yes, very
Oh, you do?
deliberately. Yep.
Wow. Congratulations.
I couldn't survive New Orleans, so I went to the country.
Nice. But anyway, so why did you just decide to get away from all that?
Because I've been through a lot. Men have hurt me really badly. And I was like, okay, I'd rather just be a nun. I actually read a book about like a monk, I guess, in Italy starting a convent, or what's it called for a monk, a monastery? And I was like, okay, I'm doing that.
So you're a monk?
Alone, yeah.
You a monk?
Yeah.
Oh,
I watch this church every Sunday for like 2 years now.
so you're visiting here right now from Louisiana?
Yes.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you.
And so, how it feel to, what did you do wrong before you finally decided I'm letting all this go? Where did you learn about you that caused all these guys to use you? What
To
were you
be
wrong?
honest, I can answer that pretty easily. I was greedy for money. And so it was just like, oh, get with the guy so that he pays for stuff. And I would like the guy. It wasn't just like purely the money thing. But it was like, I got married for 1 year. That was about money and divorced. And then another guy here in LA. And it was just, it led to hell. To prioritize it that way instead of like, I'm looking for a husband. It was like, I'm looking for a come up.
Oh, I see. And were you trying to control them?
Not consciously, but I guess so.
Yeah. Were they able to lead you at all? Like, have like really questions to answers? I mean, answers to questions you might have about.
Not in a real way.
I noticed that most men can't even make a decision as to what cafe to go to. The girl like, okay, we're going to the cafe? Yeah, we are. Where you want to go? And she said, well, you make the decision. No, you make the decision. No, where you want to go? Wherever you want to go. Get out of the car when that happens, ladies. You would obey a mama baby boy. Amazing. So what have you learned about yourself since then? since now that you're working on you?
Well, it was, a revelation that you say women our nature is evil. And it's like, it's naturally going to be that way until you overcome it.
Right.
And so that was a big like reveal about myself, was like, oh, I've been evil. I've been like actually like causing harm.
Yeah. And bringing it up on yourself too.
Yeah.
Right on. So are you, any questions about anything?
Yeah, it's
You
unrelated.
came alone. What?
Yes, I have a question, but it's unrelated to this.
Okay.
When you talk about the difference between thoughts that are lies and practical thoughts, right now I have like a series of issues like, money, whatever. And I'm like, well, the practical thoughts are driving me crazy because it's like the practical decisions that I'm having trouble with. It's not like a voice in my head like, you're ugly. It's like, you're not going to be able to pay bills. And so I struggle with the difference between like lying thoughts and practical thoughts of like, then you have to do this for things to work out. Things aren't working out.
I don't understand. the
Okay.
question.
Let me think about how to ask it. I'll try again later.
Okay. So you want to know the difference between a practical thought and a crazy thought?
Yeah, like when it's the practical thoughts that are like causing fear and anxiety.
A practical thought cannot cause fear and anxiety.
Okay.
It's only the crazy, non-practical thoughts, the illusion thoughts that causes fear and anxiety. Let's say that your rent is due, right?
Right.
And right now you don't have enough money to pay the rent or even the whole rent. It's not a practical thought just telling you you're not going to be able to pay it.
Okay. I guess that is what I'm struggling with. It's like you're not going to be able to pay it. And then, I don't know, it just causes panic.
Because if you were not lost in the illusional thoughts, you would see how to get up and go make some extra money some kind of way. You know, get a little second job or get overtime at work or something. You would practically see what to do. There is no fear in practical thoughts at all. So if you're having fear, you're lost in your head and don't realize it.
Okay, well, that's helpful.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Because that's the devil telling you, oh, you don't make enough money, you're not going to be able to do this or that, and blah, blah, blah.
Right. Okay, I'll consider that.
So now,
I'll consider that, like, next time it happens.
what do you, if you can say, what are you worried about right now?
It is money. Like, I bought a house, and now I'm deciding if I want to sell and move. Because, like I said, I'm in the country, so I can't get, like, a high-paying job that covers all the bills. It's a complicated story, but that's
Do
about it.
you have a job, period?
No, not now.
And why don't you get, how did you get the house before you get the job? How did you get, yeah.
I did lose my job.
Oh, you had the job?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And now it's telling you that you won't be able to pay the note.
Right. Like, should I move somewhere that I can get a higher paying job?
Or get a second job, have two jobs. You have kids?
No.
Or to get two jobs.
It's just where I live, it wouldn't cover my bills. Because it's like $15 an hour at a dollar store. It's like a very small town.
So you can make $15 an hour at two different stores.
Yeah, I suppose so.
You hadn't thought of that?
Well, it's just a lot of decisions. Like, see, I was an intellectual too. I did the college thing. I wanted like a great job. And I'm kind of humbled now of like, okay.
So you can get a job in your town, right?
Well, there's just not a lot available. What is available is like low paying.
Is what?
Low paying, like a
But you-
coffee shop.
So you can get a low-paying job.
Yeah, I can.
So it's not that you can't get a job.
Well, okay, and that's only become an issue because of health problems. So I was like struggling with fatigue, health thing, and then I couldn't work. But that's kind of over now. That's taken care of. So
What's a fatigue health thing?
like really sleepy due to health problems.
So
but
you're lazy. No.
brain damaged.
You worrying too much. So you're better with that now? That's gone?
Yes.
So get 2 jobs. Don't worry. Don't be trying to get a fancy job with your little degree.
Yeah.
That's ego.
I know. That's what I'm thinking.
You want to get the house note paid, the bill paid, right? Get 2 jobs, and don't be too proud, and be grateful, and then this thing just start to work out for you. And don't worry about what people are gonna think. Oh, she has a degree, and she's over at McDonald's working.
No, I'm so past what other people think.
So get 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Get 3 jobs if necessary.
All right, I'll try.
That make sense?
Yes.
And so that's practical thinking right there. But the devil got you thinking you're not going to be able to pay the bills, so you're not doing practical thinking. You're now worrying. And he's telling you, sell your house,
Right.
freak out,
Yeah.
go back to wherever. And you'll believe in that. Those are not practical thoughts.
Okay.
That make sense?
Yeah, it does. I mean, at a certain point, some people do lose their house, and it's practical to just take care of that, you know.
I'm sorry?
Well, I was just, I don't know, nothing.
What?
Just that it, you know, if it came down to losing my house, then there would be a practical way of thinking about that. Like, okay, not emotionally attached to the house, just have to let it go.
Right, don't be attached to anything.
Yeah.
If you do have to let it go, but don't be thinking about letting it go. Can't you get a tenant and rent a couple of rooms out?
That's an option.
See, you're freaking out, worried about the other stuff. The answers are always right here, right now, but you're in your head worried about losing it, what's gonna happen, this happening, I gotta move, should I move back to wherever? And so you're not seeing all the answers right in front of you. Cause you could get is it 2-bedroom or 3?
It's actually 3-bedroom.
Get 2 tenants for each bedroom.
Yeah, maybe.
There are ways out. Don't be thinking of losing the first, that's not a practical thought.
Okay.
That's a fear thought, which is not of God.
Yeah, that's how it feels. It just feels like fear, and nothing's getting done.
Anything that is of fear is not of God.
Okay.
God does not give you fear at all. He tells you to be still so you can see how to overcome all things. Don't overreact. Are you doing the silent prayer?
No, I was, and then
What a beta.
now I'm
I mean,
suffering. Suffering again.
so why don't you just suffer that? And no wonder you run around crazy.
Yeah.
Why not do the prayer so you could be conscious?
I don't know. There's no excuse other than just you don't feel like it, and it's laziness, and you're just going to cook breakfast instead of praying.
Well, then you deserve to suffer because you're one with the devil.
Okay.
An unconscious person is one with the devil. You got to put this seeking the kingdom first before anything.
Okay.
And you'll be surprised how life will just work out. It really will. But you got to be serious about seeking the kingdom. Not freak out serious, but put it first in your life.
Yeah, I agree.
So you ain't got no man, you ain't got no job. The man you had with the money, he gone.
Yeah.
And you didn't rip him off. No, I'm playing. Do the silent prayer and work on you, and things will be fine. And don't, if you have fear, just always know fear is not from God. It's not practical at all.
Okay.
Any other question?
No, not now.
Does it help?
Yes.
It makes sense?
Yes.
If you ain't got no money, how you get here?
I had a job like to come out here. I was someone's personal assistant.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Nice.
Just an old friend.
Start a new day. Go back to the prayer. Forget about yesterday. Don't think about tomorrow, and live today and watch how things work out.
Okay.
And when you get back home, go and get you whatever job you can get, no matter what kind it is. and live your life and don't worry about what people think, the kind of work you do and all that crap.
Okay.
And don't be too proud to get 2 or 3 jobs for now so you can pay your bills, pay off all those bills or whatever you do with them.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine. All right?
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yes, it does.
So do you understand practical thoughts now a little better?
Yes.
What you don't understand about it?
Well, it's kind of like it'll just have to be put into practice, like when it happens. Like if I'm trying to sell furniture and it's not selling and I'm like, where's the furniture going to go? You know, I'll have to just like put it into practice when it happens.
As it's happening, that's right.
Right.
All right? Amazing.